Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. If you are listening to this, Merry Christmas. This episode will be coming out on Christmas Day. So hopefully you guys are enjoying your family. You guys are having a great day, getting some rest and relaxation, whatever it is that you guys do on this lovely day. We hope that you enjoy it. And if you are listening to this on Christmas Day, shout out to you for wanting to still get 1% better, learn, continue to educate yourself, whatever it is, whatever that thing that's inside of you to actually click on this video and watch it on Christmas Day. Shout out to you. And if you're listening to it after, it's all good. We still love you. We're still here for you. But what we have today is we have a couple dope topics. And I know I always say that, but this is actually going to be a pretty loaded episode. We're going to get into three different topics today. The first of which we're going to be talking about the great wealth transfer. Now, check this out. Over the next 25 years, an estimated $84 trillion will be transferred from baby boomers to millennials and Gen X. All right, we're going to get into that and discuss what that even means. We're also going to be talking about the Panama Canal and the economic impact that it has not only on North America, but the whole world. And look, soon to be President Donald Trump has actually called recently for the U.S. to regain control of the Panama Canal. We're going to be talking about that as well. And then also a new $40 billion chip plant has opened up in Arizona. And stick around to figure out which company has opened up that chip plant in Arizona. It's going to be some good information. Happy holidays as usual. Jeremiah, how you feeling today, man?
Feeling thankful, appreciative to be here, appreciative of the people. Happy holidays to everybody. If you're watching, obviously, like you said, you're getting that 1% better. We appreciate you. So I'm thankful for being here. Thankful for my brother Chris.
Yeah,
Give him his flowers. Man. Chris,
appreciate
Chris,
it.
Chris
Appreciate
being Chris is the man, man. Y'all don't have any idea. Y'all just
it.
don't know. So I'm appreciative, man.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Take your
I'll take
flowers.
that.
He hates taking flowers. He
Man,
gonna text me. He's gonna text me in a minute, bro. Don't start.
don't start. And it's funny because we hit record and I literally told him one of the things I want to work on in 2025 is to stop and to smell the roses, smell the flowers, be present, be in the moment, enjoy the process, enjoy what we're going through. So I'm working on it, y'all. I'm working on it. So with that being
That's
said,
difficult.
um, let's get into it today. The Great Wealth Transfer, Millennials and Gen X reshape family offices. Now, we're going to dive into what the term family offices mean. But over the next 25 years, an estimated $84 trillion will be transferred from baby boomers to millennials and Gen X. As I just said, this wealth transfer is reshaping how family offices operate. Now, a family office is a private company that manages a family assets and needs, typically with the goal of growing and sustaining wealth across generations. All right. So now what's changing? Why is this wealth transfer happening? What's going on? Well, younger generations are prioritizing investments in sustainability, technology, and social impact. And traditional family offices structures are being modernized with tech-driven solutions. All right. Also, an increased use of AI for portfolio management and risk assessment, direct investments in startups and venture capital, reflecting entrepreneurial views, and a growing focus on ESG, which again is environmental, social, and governance principles. All right. So Jeremiah, how you feeling about this? What are your thoughts about this? And when we throw around the word $84 trillion dollars, it's a big word. It grabs your attention, but what does that exactly mean in your eyes?
Anytime you talk about $1 trillion, right? There's the largest companies in the world have market caps that are getting close to $4 trillion,
Mm,
right? So in contrast, you say 82. Come on, man, that's a lot of money.
a lot of money.
What it means for me also, something to think about is that the baby boomer generation stretches from 1946 to 1964. Okay, so it's a span of 18 years, and that 82 trillion is spread out as well over those 18 years. So it's not all at once. It's not like the 82 trillion is crossing over, you know, at the same year. No, this is over a stretch of almost about 20 years, right? Which is about two economic cycles. And so what you're going to see is a lot of inflows and a lot of things are going to change in the next 20 years, which is why you see more millennials and Gen Zs as they come into control of that money, putting more focus on tech. AI is becoming, right? So quantitative computing,
Mhm.
quantum computing, for the like control of AI and controlling that family office and controlling that money versus the actual physical person, right? Because you want to be more efficient and make more money. And so a lot can change in those 20 years as that money is coming in. So there may be people that their grandparents, they're getting their money now, right? They're millennials, they're in their early 40s,
Mhm.
right? Their grandparents are passing that money over now, whatever, or their parents passing that money to them now, right? And then and then when their children are coming around, and so that family office would have been cultivated. There's people that would just be getting their money from their,
Mhm.
they're probably early 30s right now, right? So it's going to be over a span of a whole generation, and it's not
Yeah.
all this money at once. And so what I think the main focus of people should be is what things are changing in the space of investments. So where am I putting that money as far as allocations? Where does that go? And then also, how are we managing this money and how are we establishing it to make sure that it's here for multiple generations? So it's not just the generation of the money, right? To generate money and make it or invest it to make it. It's also how you align trust and estate planning and things like that to actively make sure that it's here for multiple generations. That's a big thing that I think people should be looking at. Um, Millennial wise, millennial and Gen
Mhm.
Z, right? As that money
Mhm.
start to pass over.
So let me ask you this. Do you believe, in your experience, you believe millennials and Gen Zs, are they making smarter financial decisions, or do you think they're taking bigger risks?
Gen Z is taking bigger risk.
Okay.
Um, and also you start to see a larger group of Gen Z that are starting to get more into the propaganda as well as COVID kind of moves out of the way, right? And people are
Mhm.
more focused on post-COVID actions. A lot more Gen Z people are buying houses. They're heavy in Bitcoin, right? Cryptocurrency. They're heavy into very risk, fallible based
Mhm.
industries. I think millennials in whole have been through so many different things when it comes from 9/11, the Great Recession. They've been through multiple different, COVID. They've been through multiple things, and so they're a little bit more cautious, and they're putting a little bit more thought into it. And they also have a little bit more age than Gen Z, right? 10 to 15 years older than that generation. They've seen a couple of more things, and so they're a little bit more cautious of where their money goes. They want to hedge stuff a little bit more.
Mhm.
But Gen Z for sure, they're all in on like crypto. They're all in on things that making money right now for sure.
Right. 100%. You know what's interesting, man? Like you brought up the crypto, obviously we talk about a lot. You brought up AI.
Yeah,
Um, man, I was reading this article, man, and it's I gotta pull it up, but it was like I think 165 pages of PDF. And this person, it was the person that used to work at OpenAI and pretty much laying out what the next 5 years looks like for AI. And
crazy.
I'm gonna tell you now, the next 5 years is gonna look completely different. Our world is gonna look different.
Isn't that the
Eh,
conversation that we had on, I think on that on the episode where it was just me. I did the solo episode. I think
Yep,
that's one of the
yep,
things that we were talking about. I'm telling people, and I did a live yesterday on Instagram, and I'm telling people in the next 4 years, your world will be completely different.
different.
And you
I'm
have
telling
no
you that.
idea how different it's going to be because um, there's been nothing like it in the past. You've never advanced this quickly with technology and just like it'll be like the snap of a finger
Yeah.
and the world will just be completely different. How you govern yourself, the financing of everything, how money moves, how it's created, and there'll be also we spoke on like the wealth gap. Like you
Mm,
said, as that technology starts to expand, that wealth gap is going to get insurmountable, and so you have
mm.
to make those preparations and the thought processes and being able to place that money in the right place. So
Yeah, the name of the article, and I'll link it down below if you guys want to
dope.
read the whole thing. Maybe I'll make a post just pulling out the main points, but it's called situational awareness.
Yep.
And so the individual was saying, just to break it down, because we keep saying, yeah, it's going to happen quick, it's going to happen quick, but I want to just quickly break this down. So I think ChatGPT 2 came out in
Mhm.
2018, and Jeremiah, stop me if I'm incorrect on any of this. 2018 it came out. 4 years later, ChatGPT 4 came out.
Mhm.
Okay. So ChatGPT 2, its capabilities is comparable to a preschooler.
Yep.
Very, very simple lines, can barely form sentences.
Yep.
Um, Now they compared ChatGPT 4 to a advanced high school student. Now, some of the things ChatGPT 4 can do, I would argue that it's actually a college student, in my
It's
opinion.
probably a
But
master's. It's someone with a master's,
bro,
honestly.
they say it's a
Yeah.
high school student, but okay, let's go with
Cool.
that. Sure.
Yeah.
4 years later, a device has gone from preschool to an advanced high school student, its capabilities, right? So ChatGPT 4 can form codes, it can give you complex answers and so forth, right? The person in the article, he argued that we can make that same leap, but not in 4 years, in 2 years. So by 2027, we'll make the leap from an advanced high school student to a PhD student being able, like that's the capabilities of ChatGPT, right? And now, furthermore, going into 2030, now this is not far away. This is only 5 years away. We're about to be in 2025. 2020, 2030, he argues that these platforms could fully replace college students for a lot of different jobs out there. Now, it gets super deep, but that just goes to show within the next 2 years, ChatGPT will have the power of a PhD student.
And you know that they're being conservative, right?
For sure.
They're being
For sure.
conservative. Within a year they could do that. It's already like that's the thing people have to understand. When you release beta or you release like
Mhm.
certain versions to the public, they've already worked and completed the
Yeah.
next version. They could do that in like 6 months to a year. They could really be at PhD level. 2 years because of marketability, scale, impact to the market, how they want to lay it out and how it benefits them financially. That's the only reason because they already have it's already built out that way. We've seen videos and stuff from this sentient
Hmm.
AI stuff. It's
It's
a
different.
whole
It's
different
different.
level. Yeah,
It's
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 different.
it's insane, man. There is something else in there. This will be the last thing I say about this AI. Maybe we'll do a whole episode about specifically AI
We're
and
gonna have
what
to. Yeah.
basically the individual was saying. I keep saying individual because I forgot his name, but I'll link it down below. He was saying that there could be an AI model that pretty much can log into your computer and do tasks like send out emails for you, read out reports, hop into Zoom meetings, take
Yeah.
notes, hop out, and give you all this information for you.
Yeah. I The only problem about that is in what they were saying with the AI is it becomes more sentient. As it does that, it learns you and it learns your tendencies.
Hmm.
It learns, it's learning you essentially. It's in your brain. It knows how you function,
Yeah,
right? It can start finishing your sentences, and that's a scary thought. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's a very scary thought.
yeah,
You watch
yeah,
Terminator, man, Skynet, how close are you to that?
for
I
sure.
don't know.
And so
No
again,
fear
this go
mongering, no. I'm
no
just
thing. And look, and the reason
nah.
why I wanted to put that out there is because we always hear about AI, it's
Yeah.
advancing,
Yeah.
whatever. But what does that specifically
Make it
look like? And
relatable.
relatable, what does it look like? So that's why I wanted to bring that up. And look, that goes back to when we're talking about family offices and we're talking about the wealth transfer, again, the increase of AI, portfolio management to even how we think about investing in AI. This all goes apart into the wealth transfer.
100%. Because that's the way you're going to be managing a lot of the wealth that's coming
Yeah.
in, right? It's not going to be people, right? They've already gone into quantum computing. This is the way that they're actually able to produce higher returns and more efficient, investing,
Hmm.
basically. It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
coming. Um, you know what else is coming is pause. Super pause.
I was like, yo, we can't
Bad transition.
double
Super pause.
pause, bro.
Double pause. Former or soon to be Donald Trump
Yeah.
has recently came out and said a couple different things has stirred up a debate calling for the U.S. to regain control of the Panama Canal, which is absolutely crazy. The Panama Canal was built by the United States and transferred to Panama back in 1999. Now, we did a whole episode about Panama, and we
Yeah.
will link that down below as well. Um, Remains a crucial route for global trade.
Yeah.
And with rising geopolitical tensions and disruption in supply chains, this has reignited conversations about its importance. And Donald Trump suggests that the United States, should regain control of the Panama Canal. Now, I don't know exactly how that can be done. I would love to know your thoughts, Jeremiah, but let's jump into it.
Yeah. I think the craziest thing is that people are supporting what he's saying. They're like, yeah, just go back and take over a country's like their, the everything from this
Mm,
country. And I'm just like, dude, because obviously we know the Panama Canal is so influential to the economy of America and, North and South America, right? So imagine if you close that out, like from a country.
mm,
Imagine. Like think about this. You're literally devastating that country's finances. And then we and then the backside of that is to even suggest this is saying that we want to go back to colonialism, that we're just
mm,
going to start taking over, which we, as America, we've never really left, right? I mean, I'm a product of that. Like, Puerto Rico
mhm,
still, it's a colony. Let's be honest. Guam is a colony. American Samoa is a colony, right? So I don't know, man. I read it. It's got huge implications, obviously, for finances. There's a lot of people
mhm.
in the U.S. that said we never should have gave it up, but that was the contract that we signed when we started it. I, I don't think it's a good idea. And I think it just shows we're being a bully, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, which is what people, I mean, what we do quite a bit, but anyway,
Yeah, I
you
don't get
know.
it, man. Like I'm all about I would think I'm not in charge. There's a reason why I'm not in charge of the United States, but if I'm going to be in charge of the United States, one of the things that I would prioritize is relationships and doing my best to repair relationships and continue to strengthen relationships. And
Yeah.
doing something like this, I don't know what that does between the tension of the United States and Panama and even countries in South and Central America. How do they feel about this? You
We
know?
spoke on this earlier. We talked about the relationships between Trump and Europe, the European Union.
Yeah.
If they do think it's because they're basically just scared of him, that they like I mean, the basic, I think I read some stuff and they were talking about, man, we just think he's a nut, and we don't want drama. So we'll like kind of go along, but some things we're just not
Yeah.
going to go along with. They really don't. And it's because a lot of the things he says is brash. And a lot of people say, well, that's why I like him. He just says things and calls people names and does, and I'm like, but um, that's not collaborative, right? And that's not something that you do in the diplomatic nature. You have to grow relationships with people. Everyone's not going to have your same point of view, right? Um, you know, you can talk about people in different religions in different countries and things like that, but they have the right to their own point of view. And from their point of view, they might be right, right? And so
Mhm.
it's sitting down at the table and having those conversations, but then that starts to affect business as well,
Mhm.
which we'll go into with our last story. But
For sure.
businesses geopolitically, when we don't make those relationships in the proper manner, and then things start getting taken away or taxed against America, then everybody's upset. But it's
Yeah,
because we're making decisions or have someone as our face saying and making decisions that aren't beneficial to us growing and you know, being diplomatic.
for sure.
Um, yeah. And America's not, and this last thing, it happened with Rome,
Mhm.
happened with everybody. Like, listen, guys, America's not gonna be number one forever. It's impossible. That's just not the way the world works. Like there's cycles. There's always someone that comes in. China's next up, and very soon they'll be number one in the
Mhm.
world. It's just that
Mhm.
is what it is. You can't fight that. It's already it is what it is, right? We owe them too much money. Like, so I'm saying all that to say we got to start playing nice in the sandbox because when you're no longer number one, things
Mhm.
get different, and then people start pushing you around, right? It's like that story we had with Apple. What
Mhm.
happened with Apple? Like, Apple's struggling. They're trying to find relationships, right? Like, no longer number one because when you were number one, you bullied people and you were like, I don't do this.
But yeah, no, 100% I get you. And if you're wondering like why, if you're kind of out the loop about the Panama Canal, the canal is vital for the U.S. businesses as it has over 13 ships passing through the canal annually, carrying goods worth billions of dollars. So, should be pretty interesting. I can only imagine like if the U.S. was to take it back over, how that would affect shipping costs and things of that nature. Um, there's already been talks of tariffs. I don't know. This is kind of crazy. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it, man. I'm
I want
listening
to,
to you,
well, I want to
Jeremiah.
know, I want to know what's the people that, and remember, me and Chris were neutral, but the people that support Trump and
Yeah,
his
yeah.
platform, because you say you're pro-America and making it great, I just question that. I just really want to know how these things make America better. I'm not saying they don't. I just want to know
Mhm.
how you think that works because economically, the math isn't mathing, and I've done the math, and it doesn't math out correctly. But hey, we'll see.
Mm. Um, Something that is mathing is the new uh U.S. chip plant inside Arizona. So Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company (TSMC) opens a $40 billion chip plant in Arizona. And what's
Crazy.
crazy, we just brought up Apple. In this article, Apple said they have committed to being the site's largest customer. All right. So why does this matter? Why is this even a big deal? Well, US chip production is only 12% of the US of the global supply, down from 37% in the 1990s. And so with this plant, it will create about 4,500 direct jobs and thousands of jobs indirectly. So it's going to be a huge opportunity for the U.S. to continue to get back to creating U.S. chips, and it's going to be an opportunity for job creation as well.
I mean, it's gonna be it's this is powerful because
Yeah.
of what we spoke about earlier with the Panama Canal and the geopolitical relationship between Trump and China, right? And why you're like, what does this have to do with anything? Well, Taiwan Semiconductor, right? Taiwan
Hmm.
is a splinter group of China that broke away and were independent. China still holds claim to them and says that's still their land, blah, 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 right? And so the major place where these chips are constructed, right, is in Taiwan. The majority of the chips are coming out of Taiwan. So geopolitically, they're closer to China than us, obviously. China decides they want to invade, we're going to war, obviously, because that affects our economics. Because what's been driving the growth of the United States and the reason why things have been growing the way it has, we talked about the Magnificent Seven. All of
Hmm.
those are on the basis of AI, basically, right? And these chips, NVIDIA having its historic run. All of this is based on AI. And so this plant being constructed is super important because we want to get as much of the production,
Hmm.
manufacturing of those chips under US control as possible. You can't have it on the other side of the world because you can't get there quick enough.
Hmm.
China goes in and bombs TSMC. What do we do? Right. So these are just things that you have to think about. And so that's why this is very important that this plant come up, that it's successful, manufacturing, that it's doing what it needs to do. I mean, this is huge. And I
Hmm.
think they're waiting on some deployment of like 6.6 from the chip
Yep.
bill. Um, I know Trump said he's not in support of that,
The
but
Chips Act.
it
Yep.
was bipartisan, which means both
Yep.
everybody knows you need this is something you're gonna have to do. You
Right.
can't let this not happen, right? Because it's gonna affect U.S. economy. Just imagine no chips, no NVIDIA, right?
Mm.
No AMD. Just imagine not being able to have AI's influence or not controlling the AI market as it grows for
Mm.
America. What does our economy look like?
Get left behind real quick.
Yeah.
So $52 billion Chip Act in October during his okay, so okay, yes. Other Let me read the full sentence. Other fears surfaced when President-elect Donald Trump expressed opposition to the $52 billion Chip Act in October during his campaign. Weeks later, the US Commerce Department finalized TSMC's allotted $6.6 billion from the bipartisan bill. So exactly what Jeremiah just said.
I mean, again, I ask, how is it making America great?
Hmm.
Like, it's great to say things, but when you go and you look into things like this that are actively trying to, put money here, like it's not even trying to build a plant in India or like it's trying to build a plant in Arizona. It's building a plant
Hmm.
here in America, and you're opposing it. You're in opposition of that. Why? Because TSMC is owned by a Taiwanese company.
Hmm.
Understood, but
Hmm.
they're building it here.
Here, yeah.
Right? So it's just weird to me. It's like when I see a lot of this, I don't see a lot of strategic thought. And I'm hoping that he has. It looks like his cabinet is some good people. Now there's some clowns in there for like positions that they shouldn't be in, just complete clowns. But hopefully Elon's talking to him like, no, bro, you need this. This is good. This is what you want. You have to have this. I'm hoping that he's telling them like, no, this is something that you need to do. You're going to lay off of this. But if he's not listening, and I mean, he doesn't have a history of listening. So
Mm.
I don't know. That worries me. That little section right there that we talked about,
Yep.
him being in opposition of growing American homegrown manufacturing plants of AI chips. That's and by the way, they're looking to advance, right, and shrink the size of the nanometers. So like that's a 4 nanometer plant. They're looking to go down to 2, which would be the most advanced AI chips in the world. So
Mm.
these are things that we're trying to innovate and, be progressive on this stuff. So it seems like this would be something that you want to get behind, put money behind it, leverage whatever you can to try to build up as much as possible. New sites, get that one going and then build up additional ones.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, like we said earlier, Apple has already committed to be the site's largest customer. So you already got an American, one of the biggest American companies committed and going
Yeah.
all in on this. So why not?
I don't understand. And then Microsoft will follow, right? Because
Yeah.
there's that competition. So that's a shoe in, right? OpenAI and Microsoft. So OpenAI, they need the chips, which maybe they'll go through NVIDIA, but NVIDIA says that obviously they're a client already. So if they increase their production or they increase their pool from that like specific site, that ensures money. So I don't know, man. It just seems weird to me. I don't know. People can leave their opinions. I want to hear what other
Yeah.
people have to say because if you support this stuff, I think a lot of people got into um, supporting politics off emotions. You're
Mm,
not sitting and thinking
for
logically
sure.
about the stuff that what they're saying. Oh yeah, he's going to do this and this is, but does it make sense economically?
Yeah. 100%.
These are big questions.
Yep, 100%. So these are all huge questions. And I was just thinking as you were talking, this is one of the episodes that I would love to come back in the next year to see how everything plays out, how everything develops, how everything continues to advance forward. So, look, we would love to hear your thoughts, your comments on all three of these articles, this whole discussion as a whole. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? And please leave your comments down below in the comment section. And then also, please do us a favor and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Share with somebody that needs to hear this information as we've been super consistent and we will continue to be consistent going into 2025. And if you've enjoyed any of these conversations, have learned something, again, we appreciate you guys. Give us a like, comment, and yeah, anything else, Jeremiah? I think that's it for mine. This has been a great episode. A lot of great information. Again, this is one of the ones where I want to come back in a year or two
Got
to
to
see
check
how
it over.
everything, yeah.
No, the last thing that I would say, hey, happy holidays, everybody be safe.
Yep.
I want you guys to sit down with your family. If you're the head of the family, you guys sit down even with your extended family and talk with them about what their plans are to be
Good point.
financially successful in 2025. There's going
Good
to be
point.
so many changes. You need to start actually writing down and have a plan. Stop winging it. Stop winging years, right? Like sit down, have a plan. We're going to invest our money here. We need to get a trust. We need to do like all the things that you need to do to be financially successful, to generate wealth, right? Those things need to be established. The years are time is getting compressed. We
Mm.
just talked about that. So you want to make sure that you have a goal to advance you and your family and place you guys in the best position possible. No matter what happens, you have what you need. So That's the last thing I'll say as we're closing out 2024.
Yep, that's it. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.